with coverage you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We welcome Channel 3 viewers as well as those listening on our radio partners US 101. I'm Greg Glover.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. 6 children lost their lives in a horrific school bus crash this afternoon. 23
more children were injured, all from Woodmore Elementary School. The single vehicle crash happened on Talley Road, just a few miles from the school, around 3:30 this afternoon. This is video that we received just minutes ago. It shows that bus still there, the scene of the crash. In all, 35 students were aboard. Again, 6 of those students died. 5 were killed on the scene. 1 student died at a hospital. 23 students were sent to hospitals with injuries.
We have live team coverage tonight from 4 different locations. We start with Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Sarah Sidery at the Emergency Operations Center set up on Amnicola Highway. Sarah, tell us what police have told you about the cause of the crash.
Well, Cindy, investigators say it does appear that speed likely played a factor in the crash this afternoon. We're told that the driver is currently being questioned, that he is cooperating with police, and that he has hired an attorney.
A warrant has been issued to remove the informational box on the school bus and to review the video on that school bus.
Investigators are trying to figure out how a school bus carrying 35 students crashed during its afternoon route. The crash happened in the middle of the day when conditions were clear and the pavement was dry. It appears speed may have caused the bus to flip on its side and crash into a tree, killing several young children.
What has happened today is every public safety official's absolute worst nightmare.
There were multiple fatalities. At this time, we can identify who they are until we notify all the parents.
This has been one of the worst days that we've had in Hamilton County.
Dr. Kirk Kelly, alongside other Hamilton County school officials, announced schools will remain open on Tuesday to help students and staff members deal with the tragic loss.
Our thoughts and our prayers are out to the family and the students who were involved.
Dr. Kelly is expected to give an update at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning at Woodmore Elementary. Grief counselors will be on site to assist students, teachers, and faculty through this tragedy. Now we're going to send it over to Kelly McCarthy, who is live from the crash scene on Talley Road. Kelly, what's going on there?
Is going to be out here tomorrow morning with sunrise.
Sarah, it's been about 8 hours since the deadly bus crash, and Talley Road is still blocked off here. Now, traffic investigators are still on the scene. They're telling me they're going to be here well into the night, maybe even into tomorrow morning, and they say they're working this area as a crime scene.
As you said,
a school bus carrying 35 elementary students wrapped around a tree. A mother ran past the crime tape looking for her child. Hours later, we learned 6 children were killed in the crash. Some of the surviving children, shaken up and scared, left with their parents. 8-year-old Darian Griffith walked away with 1 shoe. He said other children were still on the bus when he was rescued.
One of them had their arm broke and they were still in there, and then the other one, the other 2 was hurt. One of them was bleeding bad and one of them had passed out.
His mother is thankful she can hold on to her son tonight.
Couldn't take him. Just happy he okay.
Families and neighbors crowded the scene looking for answers and how to help.
I seen kids laying in the street. I saw them pulling kids out of the bus. I saw people, parents, people just running out, the neighbors running out trying to help out as much as they could.
A tragedy they will never forget.
I mean, it was sad how that bus was against that tree. I knew it was going to be bad.
Now, we're still learning more information about the injured children. Reporter Kate Smith has been stationed at Erlanger Hospital all day, where many of those children are now being treated. Kate, what can you tell us?
Well, Kelly, it was a very emotional day here at Erlanger as the ambulances dropped off the victims. It was a code triage at the hospital, meaning multiple traumas and all hands on deck. One by one, ambulances rushed to Erlanger Medical Center. Curtains draped the entrance to the ER while police stood by as families gathered outside, holding on to one another, praying for a miracle.
These are families that don't know the status of many of their children. There are families that are worried about their children.
Medical staff waited at the door, ready to treat the injured children. First responders stayed to comfort broken-hearted families.
Every police officer, firefighter, and paramedic's worst nightmare, but it is also the reason that we do this, and it's the reason we train.
One of the 6 killed died at the hospital, a heartbreaking reality for the Chattanooga community.
Send them off to school. We don't know whether we'll see them again. We need to love them, hug them, not just to school, anywhere.
Now the medical team turns to taking care of the children who remain in the hospital and their families.
Taking care of the children that are injured is our #1 priority. Taking care of the families who are looking for, caring for, and grieving for children is our 2nd priority.
A tragedy too difficult to believe as a community tries to make sense of 6 lives lost too soon.
Every public safety official's absolute worst nightmare, but that is nothing in comparison to the nightmare that families and friends and our community is going through.
The conditions of the other children is still unclear at this time. Our deepest thoughts and prayers go out to the families affected. For now, I'm live in Chattanooga. Kate Smith, Channel 3.
Kate, thank you. Today's deadly school bus crash in Chattanooga is the 2nd one in 2 years in the state of Tennessee. 2 young girls, ages 6 and 7, and a teacher's aide were killed when 2 buses collided in Knox County, flipping one on its side. This happened on December 2nd, 2014. The buses were headed home from 2 separate elementary schools. In that case, it was later determined the bus driver was texting while driving. That accident in Knox County.
More coverage for you still to come on Eyewitness News at 11, from blood donations to teddy bears, how the community is stepping up in any way they can after today's tragic school bus crash.
Plus, we'll let you know how you too can help. We'll be right back.
Blood assurance officials say there is a critical need for blood following today's deadly bus crash.
In a massive showing of support and concern, the lines of people wanting to donate were out the door at the 4th Street location earlier tonight. But the need is constant, as they hope the willingness to give is in the days to come.
The last 45 minutes, we have seen an outpouring from the community of people coming in, all ages, all blood types, wanting to help out. Our centers are completely full packed. We're bringing in staff from all over.
The community responds. For many, doing nothing after hearing Monday afternoon's terrible news was not an option. So they converged at Blood Assurance downtown. All ages, races, creeds, colors, and types.
We're fast passing O negative. It's the universal donor. If you're an O negative donor, we're going to get you in first.
And as closing time passed, these people were content to wait, to help in some way, if not this day's victims, then others.
Obviously, we know that there's a crisis happening, but there are also other patients in the hospital, and there may be other tragedies, unfortunately, that happen. It's holiday time, people get on the road, so it's about the long term.
So blood assurance workers took phone numbers and asked all donors, first time and long time, to consider a visit in the days ahead.
We need donors to think about coming in tomorrow, Wednesday, Friday, and even next week, because this need isn't going to go away quickly.
And if past tragic events tell us anything about our community, the desire to help won't fade either.
It's amazing, it's heartwarming, it's devastating all at the same time, but it's really incredible to see people just come running in to give.
To donate, you must be at least 18 years old, 110 pounds, and be in good health. Blood Assurance Centers stayed open until the last donor donated tonight. All the centers will reopen at 8 o'clock in the morning. Find more information about donating blood or platelets, including the locations where you can do so, at WRCBTV.com.
The Chattanooga community took to all platforms of social media, rallying around Woodmore Elementary and the families who lost loved ones.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Cameron Taylor continues tonight's team coverage from the elementary school. Cameron, how's the community helping?
Greg and Cindy, I've seen the community open their hearts for the students, faculty, and staff here at Woodmore Elementary. Throughout the night, I've seen people carrying in various items to show their support. One woman brought in 45 teddy bears. She's a parent herself and says her heart is broken for the families affected by that horrific bus crash. I also saw a man bring in boxes of tissues. He has 2 granddaughters who go to the school. Take a listen.
Any children that come grieving are having a hard time coping with this, hopefully there'll be enough bears here that they can each get one and have one for comfort.
They're going through a lot right now, trying to process what happened, trying to process their friends that won't be around anymore. And so we're just trying to help the students, the faculty, and the staff to just get through this.
And they're hoping that these teddy bears and tissues and other items will be a source of comfort for students tomorrow. And more than likely, we'll see more donations pour into the school to help the students and staff here start to heal. Live in Hamilton County, Cameron Taylor, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Cameron. After a tragedy like today's bus crash, parents, teachers, and other caregivers may be wondering how to talk to their children about events like this. Experts say to help children express their emotions through conversation, writing, and drawing. Also, it's important to accept their feelings and let them know it's okay to feel sad or stressed. And most important, experts say to always pay attention. Be a good listener.
When we come back to Eyewitness News at 11, we'll continue to follow updates on that tragic accident that left 6 children dead.
Chattanooga's police chief says speed could have been a factor.
Rescue efforts on Talley Street have ended. Now an investigation is underway. Chattanooga police are trying to determine what caused that crash that led to the deaths of 6 children on the Woodmore Elementary School bus.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Sarah Sidery has been following the latest in the investigation all night. She joins us live now from where the last news conference was held, Amnicola Highway. Sarah, what can you tell us?
Cindy, we know the bus driver is still being questioned. We're told he is cooperating with police and has hired an attorney. Now, we're told by investigators that it's very likely that speed did play a factor in this afternoon's crash. It happened in the middle of the day when conditions were clear and the pavement was dry. A warrant has been issued to remove the information box from the bus. That way, investigators can also review the onboard video. Right now, Chattanooga police are only reporting multiple fatalities. At this point, they are not releasing an official number. Here's Chief Fred Fletcher on why.
When we know how many children lost their lives, when we have talked to their families personally, when I have talked to their families personally, then you will have a number and not a minute before.
Hamilton County Schools did announce that all schools will remain open on Tuesday. We're told that Dr. Kurt Kelly is expected to have an update at Woodmore Elementary tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning. Grief counselors will also be on site for students, faculty, as well as any community members who are dealing with this tragic loss. For now, reporting live in Chattanooga, Sarah Sidery, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Sarah, thank you very much.
Cooler weather finally settling in across the Tennessee Valley. We'll take a break from our coverage and check in now with meteorologist Paul Barris. Paul?
Well, this dangerously dry weather is continuing 56th day in a row since we've had 1/10 of an inch of rain. You got to go all the way back into the end of September since we've had 1/10 of an inch of rain. Now, we've had a couple hundredths here and there, but this is a remarkable number, almost 2 complete months. On satellite radar, you can see all the clouds off to the north. There's really no rain near us at all. We're just going to see a few high clouds for tonight and then again for tomorrow. All the rain's well out to the west. We'll probably see something coming up, it looks like, late on Wednesday. Winds are calm now. It's chilly out there. Already 28 in Athens, 25 in Murphy, 34 Cleveland, 36 Dalton, 32 in Fort Payne, and 37 right now in the city. Our high was 57, the low was 28. A good forecast from Nick Austin yesterday there. He just was off 1 on each the high and the low. Temperatures in the 50s south of the city, mid-50s from Dalton to Chatsworth, Lafayette, Trenton, Calhoun, mid-50s again into Scottsboro, 55 in Ooltewah and Cleveland, and then Soddy, Daisy, Lakeside 54, even 58 up in Dunlap. And Lookout Mountain was 53, while Ringgold, 54 East Ridge about 53. And then we had 50s pretty much north of the city now, just north of Athens at Sandra Russell's house, got to 49, but it did get into the 50s downtown. 56 out near Murphy, and Jasper hit 55, while it was 52 up on Cagle Mountain for a high temperature. Here's the latest Vipercast. This is our computer model that we look at exclusively here at Channel 3. And again, you see some of these high and middle clouds start to spread in, mainly late tomorrow and into tomorrow night. Then the clouds thicken up a little bit overnight. Now by 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, these showers, some will be heavy out near Memphis. They start to move our way and poof, they disappear once again because the air is just so dry. Now we're going to have a southerly flow of air. We'll see some rain out of this, but not a lot, probably 1/10 of an inch or less as this cold front sweeps on by. And it looks like by Thursday morning it's all over with. That's Thanksgiving. And then mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies right into Friday. And then Friday afternoon, a northwesterly wind, not too strong, but dry weather will continue again. Now we're thinking mainly if you get 1/10 of an inch, consider yourself lucky, and that'll be late in the day on Wednesday and probably Wednesday night. Pinpoint forecast for tomorrow, Dalton, you'll hit 62, and it should be mostly sunny all day, just a few high clouds. Murphy will be near 59 for a high. Now tonight in the city, 30, but you get away from the city, it's going to be in the 20s. Some spots could be in the low 20s tonight. It's very frosty. As a matter of fact, last night out in Delano, that's in Polk County, got down to 17 degrees, and that's not even that high up. 62 tomorrow, very seasonable, light winds, again mostly sunny. Tomorrow night, 41 with a few more clouds. Now the 7-day forecast, a pretty good chance for rain on Wednesday. Now that's a 50-50 chance where most of us are going to see something develop, but it's not going to be a lot. It's going to be 1/10 of an inch or less, but it's a pretty good chance for something. Then on Thanksgiving Day, we're looking at 64. Friday should be about 67. Next best chance for rain after the weekend, next Monday. That looks like the best chance that we've seen in quite a while around here.
There was just a misting early Saturday morning, and it was amazing to see.
I actually got 300s at my house, and I was shocked. It was that much.
A lot of folks got excited about it.
That's right.
Paul, thank you. And straight ahead on Eyewitness News at 11, people around the world are tweeting and praying for those affected by the Woodmore Elementary bus crash.
Paul Shaheen joins us live in the studio to tell us what some are saying on Twitter to rally around the Chattanooga community. It's all coming up after the break.
Sports is meant to be a distraction from the everyday grind or struggles of life. But even sports can't distract from the tragedy that took place today in our beautiful city. So tonight isn't about the wins and the losses, it's about those who lost what can't be replaced. And some of the biggest stars from the fields in this state are doing their best to help with love and prayers our way. Tennessee quarterback Josh Dobbs tweeted, "Our heart goes out to those affected by the bus crash in Chattanooga. Pray for their families." Vols head coach Butch Jones tweeting, "Devastating news coming out of Chattanooga. Thoughts and prayers with students and families of Woodmore Elementary." Former Chattanooga Mock and will-be NFL Hall of Famer Terrell Owens chimed in as well, tweeting, "My heart and condolences goes out to the students and families along with the children that died in Chattanooga bus crash. God bless." And there was former Notre Dame High School standout and current Arizona State football All-American Kareem Orr. He chimed in, tweeting, "Praying for the families in Chattanooga." From Nashville as well, the Nashville Predators of the NHL world tweeted, "Sending our thoughts and prayers out to those involved in the terrible crash in Chattanooga. Smashville is thinking of you." And it wasn't just local either. SportsCenter anchor Linda Cohn, you know her, she also tweeted her prayers from Bristol, Connecticut, saying, my prayers go out to the families and the loved ones of those who died today in the horrific school bus crash in Chattanooga. Now, that's not all we heard from. That's just all the time we have to share right now. You had Vanderbilt's Derek Mason, some of the Mocs players were tweeting and retweeting, the Chattanooga Lookouts. It shows how strong of a community it really is and how far this community really can touch.
And a lot of negative things can, and rightfully so, be said about social media. But when something like this happens, a tragedy like this, it shows that we can be one unified community in grief and in support.
We take the social media, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the great, like today, because
when it comes from complete strangers.
Yes, absolutely. Like Linda Cohn, you turn SportsCenter on and watch her daily. Chattanooga is on her heart today. That's special.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for sharing that, Paul. Really good.
Chattanooga Police Chief Fred Fletcher stood before the Chattanooga community twice today to give updates on the bus crash.
And it was in the last news conference that Fletcher admitted speed could have been a factor in the crash. Here's a recap of that.
23 children were transported to Erlanger Hospital for treatment. We do know that multiple children lost their lives today in this tragic incident. Our thoughts, our prayers, and all of our efforts are with the families of these children and others impacted by this tragedy. Taking care of the children that are injured is our #1 priority. Only the school bus was involved in the crash, and the bus turned over on its side and struck a tree. The bus driver is being questioned and is cooperating with investigators. A warrant has been issued to remove the informational box on the school bus and to review the video on that school bus. Certainly speed is being investigated very, very strongly as a factor in this crash. It is a complicated crime scene that covers a significant area. Now it appears that one contributing factor may be speed, but that is part of an active ongoing investigation. When we have more about that, we'll let you know.
Chief Fred Fletcher there, and certainly this story has dominated the news cycle today. No doubt it will again tomorrow. When we come back to Eyewitness News at 11, one more look back at the details surrounding this bus crash.
Kate Smith will join us live from Children's Hospital, where students are still being treated tonight. And we'll let you know how you can help during this tragedy.
We're continuing our coverage tonight of a bus crash that killed 6 children here in Chattanooga.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Kate Smith joins us live from Children's Hospital at Erlanger, where several students who were on the Woodmore Elementary bus were taken. Kate, give us a wrap up of what you've learned today.
Well, it was a very heartbreaking day here in the Chattanooga community. 35 students on their way home from school involved in a bus crash, 23 of them injured, 6 of them have died. We've seen mothers crying as they learned of the news. We've seen first responders hugging and just comforting the community. The CEO of Erlanger helping to transport victims into the hospital. Dr. Kirk Kelly says school will go on as usual tomorrow in Hamilton County, and counselors will be on site for any grieving. We've been getting calls into the Channel 3 newsroom about how you at home can help with this tragedy. The Blood Assurance organization needs your help. They need blood after this tragedy. They will open up at 8 a.m. tomorrow, and they are requesting people, if you can, to donate blood. And I think one of the most important things you can do at home is just keep these families and the victims in your thoughts and prayers. For now, I'm live in Chattanooga. Kate Smith, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
And other people to remember, of course, the first responders, the police, the EMS, the medical professionals. They saw things they've probably never seen before.
Sad day in Chattanooga. More tomorrow. That's it for Eyewitness News at 11. Follow us online.